Hello, everyone. This is Dan Gramza, and welcome to dangramza.com Market Studies from Monday, January 5th. Well, what we see here in the S&P, by the way, if you haven't seen these videos, it's a daily chart. It's a swing trade concept, so you're trying to capture pieces of this movement. That's the idea. And we're looking at a candle format. Red line is sell, green line's buy. Dashed line means it's something that happened earlier in the week. And you can go to dangramza.com and follow these lines as they change. You can go back over 10 years and look at all the recordings that have occurred and how these red and green lines moved. Now, let's talk about what happened here. This market traded above its buy level and it rallied for a bit. And it also closed below it. So it closed underwater. It also traded below its sell level and it bounced right back up. So not a sign of confidence. It's a market that's uncertain about what the next step should be. It implies an inside day for Monday. Dollar difference sell to buy level, just to give you a reference, is $2,550 a contract. You're seeing something similar here in the NASDAQ market. And here, the dollar difference there is $4,320 a contract. Now, it had a nice strong rally going, but it failed. And it also closed below its buy level. So it closed underwater on the buy side and it closed underwater on the sell side. So a loss. The dollar difference buy to sell level, just to give you that as a reference, that's $11,720 a contract. When we look at what's going on in the Dow, dollar difference here between the sell and buy level is $420 a contract. Here it closed positive, so it's staying in a market position where it wants to go higher. So buyers have maintained positions here, but we also see the same thing in the Russell. Dollar difference in that market, $2,400 a contract. And it's closing positive above its buy level. Follow through, that's what we're looking for on Monday. The euro traded above its buy level and it failed as it broke to the downside. Dollar difference there, $425 a contract. This implies further strengthening of the US dollar. Our friend here, the Swissy, dollar difference in that market, $775 a contract. And it closed below its buy level. So that also is closing with a loss. If we look at what's happening, though, in Mr. Yen, the buy level's been lowered a bit. It's got a possibility of getting low enough to find those buyers, so be cautious on the short side. Over here in the Aussie dollar, it traded above its buy level. Dollar difference, $600 a contract. And, the dollar difference here between that buy and sell level is $6,900 a contract. What do we look for? A sideways to higher move there. So it's the opposite of what we saw in the euro and the Swissy. Now, British pound trades above its buy level, moves a bit higher, but it fails as it closed below its buy level. So it's underwater or a loss. Dollar difference between the sell and buy level there is $112.50. When we look at what's going on in the Canadian dollar, this market traded above its buy level and it failed. The dollar difference there, $140 a contract. Sideways move is what I'm looking for. Bitcoin trying to work its way higher, but look for an inside day on Monday. 10-year notes. This is a market that also traded above its buy level and it failed as it closed below it. Dollar difference there in that market is $93.75. If we look at what's going on in the bond market, well, it's in the same position that we're seeing with the notes. Be cautious on the short side with that market. Gold traded above its buy level. That dollar difference there, $8,500 a contract, and it closed below that buy level. So it's underwater if you're someone is still holding on to that position. As we talk about in the foundation course, how we manage risk is critical for any position that we initiate. Now, let's talk about silver. Traded above its buy level, dollar difference, $1,850 a contract. Follow through to the upside? Not so sure about that. Be very careful on the short side. This also closed a little bit underwater in that market as well, but it's what I call potential loss of confidence. So it's got a potential for a rally. So be careful there on the short side. If we look at what's going on in copper, I'm looking for a sideways move in that market. Dollar difference by the sell level is $1,500 a contract. Inside day makes sense. Some people are saying fundamentals are firming up. I have my doubts about that actually, but let's see what's happening in crude oil. Dollar difference sell to buy level in that market is $460 a contract. Look for an inside day in that market. Now, nat gas is getting low enough that it may start finding some buyers. Be careful on the short side. Soybeans also getting low enough to find some buying. I'd be careful on the short side with that market as well. And when we look at what's happening in corn, sellers are still dominant. Things look good out there globally for beans, corn, and for Mr. Wheat as we see that market breaking lower as well. And it's bouncy as it finishes. So look for a possible up day on wheat market on Monday. Well, those are my thoughts for today. Thank you for joining me. Look forward to being with you again. And as always, take care.